We are live on Facebook. This is Evan Golden, your host of our video podcast show from the law offices of Berman and Berman. Today's guest in studio is Hunter Pollack. We are very excited to have him. We have a lot of things we want to discuss and talk about. He's been on an amazing mission since dealing with the tragedy. So Hunter, we want to thank you very much for coming into the studio today. I know you're a very busy man, and you're a lot younger than me, but it's nice to say that I'm looking up to you, man. You've really become someone that I could almost like a role model figure, what you've done with tragedy and how you're really trying to make a difference in this world and improve school safety. So, Hunter, thank you so much for coming on. It's almost like a year and a half since the tragedy at Douglas. And what's kind of your mission right now? What is kind of your goals and what are you working on?
Right now, I'm just working on more school safety legislation, but now I'm actually moving on to the next step. I'll be heading to D.C. on Friday to start an internship with Senator Rick Scott. I just finished one with Governor Ron DeSantis. Wrapped that up, and I'm just learning as much as I can so I could use my experience and my knowledge just to make the world a better place.
Yeah, that's so important, man. And we talk about every day. At least I'm sure you don't go a day that goes by where you're not thinking about what happened and trying to make a difference. How did you kind of find the strength, your family, just to kind of say, hey, we're not going to just be down and grieve, but how did you kind of find that strength and courage to kind of be a figurehead and try to make a difference?
I just have so much support, friends, family, religious leaders, community outreach, and I'm just everyone I surround myself with every day just encourages me and gives me the words of wisdom to keep going every day. The dealing with loss is just so much adversity, and now dealing with like a political madness and having to make the world a better place, well, you're also dealing with so much. It's really hard. It takes a toll on you, but I just know for my sister and in her honor, I've already done so much, and that's how I wake up every day. I have my sister in my heart. It's like the fight of a lion, and with her up there, I can't stop. I won't stop.
That's great. And have you seen a lot of change? Have you seen a lot of your work? Have you seen a lot of differences? What have already been changed? Maybe that people don't know what you've made a difference in.
We passed the school safety bill last year that increased school safety, started a guardian program. We increased funding in mental health, which was honestly, it was a hard battle. And then we ran school board elections, which put us on the map, and we lost. And you can't win at everything in life, so we lost that. It was really tough. But we were able to spark the Broward School Board and the Sheriff's Office as a nationwide failure, and we were able to remove the sheriff. We're working on the school board. Broward County is a mess. It's like, and not to bring up politics, when Trump brings up like how Washington, D.C. is the swamp, Broward County is its own swamp itself. And my dad and I have been battling that swamp, and we've been so successful. So pretty much just putting them on the map and showing everyone that you need to, like, parents need to be on top of what's going on in there, not only at D.C., but not state level, but local level. If I could go back before February 14th, I would have really kept up with the Promise program, all these programs, not spending money, not following up on these psychopaths. I've seen so much change, big following, and yeah, that's about it. Just
what could parents or citizens just in our county do to help make a difference? Is there opportunities, boards, committees that they can get involved in?
They should just follow their school board's guidelines, their sheriff's office, and focus on what's going on in the community and not look past that, because if they do, the political leaders will take advantage that people aren't aware of what's going on.
Well, we're here with Hunter Pollack, and he's really become a school safety activist. He's very involved in politics, and he really has dedicated his time and his life right now to making a huge difference and hopefully making sure something like this never, ever happens again. I'm a graduate of Stoneman Douglas, class of '99, something that obviously hit home to me.
I was 2 years old then.
Wow, you're really aging me. You're aging me here. And I really have followed up, and what I thought was interesting is that you weren't just a kind of a brother to your sister. You almost played like a father figure role to her as well. I know, obviously, as a father with Andrew, but tell me a little bit about that, because I've seen kind of like in her diary, and it seems like you played a really important life and kind of a factor in her.
Well, growing up, being a little bit older, going through school before her, I would always get in trouble. I didn't go to class. I would fail constantly. So I felt like it was my due diligence to make sure that my sister wouldn't go through the same path I did. Not saying it was bad, but it could have been better. So as a brother, I also played the role as a father to make sure that she would get good grades, she would go to class, she wasn't doing drugs or going out and partying, and that she was always on her A game. So that's what she meant by a father figure. Yes, it annoyed her at times. Who wouldn't be annoyed with someone constantly over their shoulders telling them what to do? But it turned out she was very successful from that. She was going to Lynn University here in Boca Raton. She was going to probably go to law school, would have been a very successful advocate for whatever issue she would have found. It's so devastating that she's not here today, because like with her, she would have contributed so much to this world, and especially Florida. So it's a big loss, and I feel that, and we all feel that. So
yeah, it's just heartbreaking, and I'm sure she's just so proud of you. You know, the difference obviously you're making, and the fight that you're putting up, because it's not an easy road dealing with politics, right? I mean, they've even blocked you from speeches, they've blocked you from speaking before, so you've had a lot of obstacles you've had to overcome.
Oh, a lot of obstacles. I wasn't able to speak at the march and all the political games, but also she had other. I'm also trying to fulfill some other things besides politics. Like her favorite rapper was Kodak Black, and I reached out to his team recently, and I was going to Rolling Loud, and we were going to hang out. I had the VIP before but I didn't know he was going to get arrested, and so hopefully when Kodak's out, if he's out, we could launch a scholarship together, like they said they had planned for. And they also, his team wants to put effort in school safety, and they've been very active too. So thank you, Kodak Black. And
Awesome. Yeah, so if you're watching this live or you're going to watch it later, send a retweet, send a DM to Kodak Black's people, because that would mean a lot to Meadow and his family. So I think that would be a very important aspect. What did you think of the whole, like, all the students and the whole March for Their Lives initiatives? Is that something you were involved? Do you think they had maybe certain agendas that weren't aligned with yours? Were they kind of just, excited with the TV appearances? What's kind of your feelings on that?
I think March for Our Lives as a whole, it has some good people in it, but you have those few kids who've just been so facey since the beginning, and the March for Our Lives itself was hijacked by professional activists who wanted to be a part of this. They all come in after these mass shootings and take political opportunity out of it. So these kids rode with the wave. They didn't let me speak at the march. And then after that, when they got millions of followers, they disappeared from Parkland itself and focused on every other issue, while they kept the families in Broward County to fight for themselves. So I don't really recognize their work. I don't respect a lot of them. What I do respect is the families of victims who wake up every day, like I said, with all this adversity to make real positive change. I know one of the fathers, Max Schachter, right now is in Washington, D.C., and he's just meeting with all these congressmen, senators, and president staffers, and it's just a big inspiration to me to see these people.
That's great.
Do all this positive.
Yeah,
things.
he's doing some awesome things. I think a lot of people think that you or other students, that we want to like just ban guns and take away all the guns, but that's not it. Your main issue is school safety, correct?
Yes, school safety and now public safety as a whole. There's just so many problems. Like I said, I've been going on ride-alongs with all the different police departments throughout South Florida, and I've just seen so much negativity that I want to be an advocate for everyone, as well as in our schools, but also on our streets. I mean, people are being let down by the system, and I feel like if I could speak up for these people and really impact a lot of lives as I grow older and wiser.
That's great, man. I'm sure that your parents are so proud of you. Like I said, Meadow, I'm sure is your guardian angel, and the 17 other angels are just so appreciative of that work you're doing, because you have the right initiative, where you see a lot of people might have maybe selfish initiatives or trying to get their name out there, or books, whatever the case may be. So very awesome, and it's just very rewarding in my perspective to see kind of what you're doing. And I guess when you look at school safety, has a lot been done since that? Because I've went to some Stoneman Douglas football games, some basketball games. I've went on campus, and I was even telling some of my friends, I'm like, it's kind of scary that I just walked right onto campus. No one stopped me. No one searched me. No security measures. We tried to donate some metal detectors to the schools, even just to have a metal detector before people going to sporting events or going in the administration building. Didn't have to be for every student, but even just maybe an added piece of security. Has any security measures been in place in Broward County school systems since the shooting?
The school board's just so poor. They fail to really take action. There's no sense of urgency in Broward County. Thank God Scott Israel's out. The new sheriff's been working really hard on active shooter training and what to do during that time. But if you look in the nation, there's been so much change. Last February 2018, we saw President Trump my dad said to him, Mr. President, you need to start a school safety commission. Right away, the president pointed at Hope Hicks, who was his staffer at the time, and they got it done, and we were able to get like a comprehensive guideline for school boards throughout the country to follow, and that was just so positive that the president listened to what we had to say. And then Governor Rick Scott at the time listened to us with the MSD Commission. So now there's 67 counties in the state of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
The other 66 listen to the commission. It's just Broward County is so hard-headed that they don't follow instructions. And I was reading this morning with the Promise program that the Promise program is a diversionary program, and diversionary programs now have to share the status of the offender with the police department, so that if the police department has to make the arrest, they know that he was in the diversionary program. They failed to follow that simple guideline, and thank God the Sun Sentinel's just been so proactive in releasing all this information for us to have because of public records. We're not professionals, we're new to this, so they've been amazing help. So no, to answer your question, Broward County's failed to make our schools safer. There's any minute another school shooting could happen here. Until the superintendent's out of office, then Broward County schools won't be safer.
Now, why is Runcie still, I mean, all you hear about is all the negative things this man has done and the things he's just not followed through on. How is he still in position?
Because he's appointed. So the Florida statute says that the governor could only suspend an elected official, and Runcie is appointed, and the school board fails to fire him. And since some of them were just elected in 2018, the governor doesn't think it's a smart decision to just fire them as well.
Wow. Well, that is not good news. And hopefully we could kind of make a difference and overcome it and do what we need to do without him. But I don't know. Is he someone that would just block any good initiative, unfortunately?
Yeah, he's been pretty negative. He's a friend of big political heads, and he has his own agenda, which is sad as a superintendent of 270,000 students, that you don't put your students first. You put yourself first and the agenda of the people who help get you the job.
And I know May is Mental Awareness Month right now, and you're seeing so many people. I think there's been 2 students that have committed suicide since the shooting. Is that something you're getting involved in at all, or trying to help with the grieving process? I mean, I think if someone speaks to you, man, who lost their sister, and how you're dealing with it and coping with it, I think you could really help a lot of people.
Yeah, so one of the young ladies who committed suicide, Cindy Aiello, was a great friend of my sister, and her brother is a good friend of mine. So I was so devastated when I heard that she had committed suicide because, one, these 17 people, their lives were taken away from them without the option. When this young lady took her life with an option to continue living and continue battling every day. So I've been there for her brother. They live here in Boca Raton as well. I've given him great advice, but there's only so much I could say. Everyone deals with grieving differently. Mm-hmm. And yes, it is mental health awareness. So I've been doing a lot to raise that issue. So yesterday 2 days ago, I went on a 6-mile walk with the first responders to raise awareness for their PTSD and mental health and their suicide prevention. And it was a great walk, and 200-300 guys came out, and I was able to speak. And one of the other suicide victims' family spoke, Calvin Desir, and it was just a very passionate topic. And mental health's a massive issue that our politicians are kind of pushing aside and not focusing on, because politicians don't want to do anything to help us. They do what's on their agenda that's good for talking points that will get them reelected. We need to change the structure of the political world. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, it's people like you that are going to make the difference. Make sure you're following Hunter Pollack on his Twitter account. It's Pollack Hunter, at Pollack Hunter, POLLACKHUNTER, Pollack Hunter on Twitter. It's a good follow, and this young man is really making a difference. Him and his family is something that my family, we talk about a lot. We spend a lot of time with him and his father, and ways that we could kind of just help alleviate some of the grief and help make a difference. We've done a lot of events with Meadows Movement, trying to raise some money for a playground and some other school safety initiatives. And I'll tell you that the law offices of Berman and Berman, we stay committed to the community. So with them and myself, we'll do whatever is asked of us and whatever we could do to help contribute with your initiative. So just let it be known that we got your back and your family's back.
Of course, you guys have been a great help.
Yeah, we'll stand by you guys, and hopefully there's some justice that will be served. For you, is there something that you really are looking to see? Is it something with with the killer? Is there something that you want to see be done to him, or something with the school system? Is there something specifically that you're looking for to help you? I don't know, maybe just take that next step of healing. Do you need to see something done?
We've already accomplished so much, but I'd like everyone to be held accountable. But at the same time, I'd like every single person to contribute in one way or another just to make the world a more positive place. We're going through a very dark time. There's shootings happen, there's hate, there's violence, and we just need to smile, help our neighbor out, and continue moving forward.
Wow. You're very much an inspirational man. Your attitude is just phenomenal for what you and your family's been through. I don't know how you do it and where you're finding this drive, but there's so many people that are just appreciative and ready to get behind your back. Hopefully you stick with politics, because you seem like someone that is a man that could really make a huge difference.
And just so it's known, I do remember the Berman law firm offering up metal detectors, but of course they were turned down by the Broward County School Board. So thank you for the Berman law team.
Yeah, we you know, it was something. Look, we knew that it's not something that we could supply to every single school in Broward County and enough of them. But if we could supply a couple of them, even if, like I said, if it's in front of I went to a basketball game and they had no security, no metal, no checks, where they easily could have put that right in front of the gym for anyone that went in, just so you at least know that it was safe. And it got a little heated in there, and people were getting nervous. There was almost a fight. So I think that they need to be open to at least taking some type of suggestions, and unfortunately, like you said, Broward County just blocked it again.
Yep.
Yeah,
It was sad to see.
yeah. There's a lot of red tape to go through. Well, we appreciate your time, Hunter. Make sure you follow him on social media. Again, Pollack Hunter on Twitter. Support him, retweet him. Let's get this mission accomplished, and let's make the public safety in the schools just a better, safe place. Like we said millions and million times, students, parents should not have any ounce of fear sending their kid to school or any public place, let alone. And it's crazy when you think about how many places have these security measures where schools don't. That is just what boggles my mind over and over again, and I'm sure it does you as well.
The one that boggled my mind the most was when I was going out in Vegas to a nightclub, and I had to take off my belt, my shoes, and go through a metal detector. But meanwhile, our schools and our children are left vulnerable every single day.
It's horrible. Well, Hunter, we appreciate what you're doing. Don't stop the fight, man. Parkland strong for life. We're here to help you in any initiatives we can, and we appreciate your time. Again, this is Hunter Pollack on the Golden TV video podcast from the law offices of Berman. We thank you very much, and we'd like to have you back on again.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Beautiful studio.
Thank you. We are out of here.